Coming from the true space, we ain't entertaining neighbors. I don't give a fuck what you say. Found the universal coochie, planting seeds and birds fruit. Now I'm really looking juicy. Welcome to the true space. Yeah, bitch, welcome to the true space. Welcome to the true space. Yeah, bitch, welcome to the true space.
What's good, y'all? My name's Open Book. This is my partner.
Hey guys, it's Harry. Welcome back to Truspace.
Yep, and this is your weekly horoscope. So let's get into the energies we're going to be hit with this week. Starting off with Monday, we have the moon in Scorpio squaring the Saturn and the sun in Aquarius. How do you think this energy is going to kick off our week?
We're basically right now in the ending of Aquarius season, and basically this is the letting go sequence. But here with the moon in Scorpio, we're basically emotionally fixated on our feelings and emotions and our vulnerabilities. And there's the square with Saturn and the sun in Aquarius, which is obviously forcing us to learn how to adapt and take more actions and learn how to create more restrictions and see the reality of our association. But a lot of time right now, well, the moon is in Scorpio is going to allow us to see which emotions and feelings and whatever have us in behind the scene realm that's preventing us from moving forward in the future, which is very associated with Aquarius too. But it's very important for us to go through this emotional transformation because it gives the background, the story of a revolution. Like I don't think you would hear about a revolution story without like a bloody background or like something very vulnerable, something very ugly.
Absolutely. It's like a reminder of that background story, of that trauma that's coming up as you're trying to progress forward, as you're trying to assimilate or go for a larger cause. It's like that inner insecurity that comes from your origin story that holds you back from progressing forward. And now in that square is the challenge of integration of that, because past this full moon, if we have been planting the seeds all Aquarius season and being honest with who we associate ourselves with, knowing that that's going to direct where our minds go, and whether we can come up with a logical way or have the information or have the people in our lives that allow us to escape those vulnerabilities or to transform them into something new. Otherwise, we'll just be, those insecurities will come up and you'll probably use more of that escaping energy. Maybe you try and use the logic and associations to hide your true self instead of trying to really embrace your shadow and transform that energy. What about the trine that the moon is making with Venus and Neptune in Pisces?
So as we're diving deeper in our vulnerabilities, emotions, and feeling, that's allowing us to see and create opportunities with Venus, which we love, appreciate, and what we like to indulge in. But also how we relate with people, and here having Neptune here, the planet of spirituality, but also delusion. And Pisces, this is a powerful combo for you to be a drug addict and really have create a numbness for yourself in the spiritual realm. And by that I mean a lot of people eat candy in the physical realm, so they kind of numb their kind of mouth and senses. But imagine if you exactly. So imagine that in the mental realm, you overload someone with a lot of imaginations, a lot of visuals that destroy their neurological brain and so on and so forth. Because you overloading their brain with sugars and so on and so forth. So I can see Venus and Neptune providing a lot of dreams and illusions for you to chase after or get lost in. But if you use it properly, you could really manifest a great desire for a certain dream, which could be a very good for you to allow yourself to lead yourself basically. And the moon is and the moon is allowing you to basically see what you need to transform, so you could create better opportunities for you to go after that. Because you need to be more broader with your sense of how you relate with things, as opposed to so introverted behind the scene. but the moon Scorpio provides that sense of stability, so you don't get to la la land, you get so floaty and what makes sense. You could say maybe Scorpio is like the earth sign of other water sign, since it's the fixed one.
It's like ice, because when the water becomes solid, but so now you can walk on it, and it kind of does act like earth. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I like that example of the sweetness of things, because that's exactly how things get with Piscean energy, where sometimes you can idealize something so much that when you get into the actual experiences, does it live up to the imagination that you had set for it, and then you end up being disappointed or dissatisfied, and what leads to the more escapism energy, where you want to reclude into la la land or into your imagination because it's better there, and you don't want to allow things to come in to kind of mess that up, or reality to come in, because now it's going to take away that sweetness. But just like Harith was saying, the moon in Scorpio gives that solid energy, or that need for emotional stability. So it kind of reins in that Piscean energy, where Venus and Neptune may be going a little too crazy in la la land, a little bit too imaginative and expansive, and trying to connect with everything and trying to make everything nice. But the moon's reminding you of your hardships, your wounds and stuff like that. And it's up to you to not utilize that with your imagination and run away with it and inflate it more to what it is, but to use that as your core, as your center, to help you ground into reality and know what emotions that you want. You have this imagination energy, you can idealize things, put that all towards your emotional security, just the emotions that'll make you feel secure, not all that extra stuff. Then you'll find that you have all this psychic emotional power at your disposal that could work against you if you let it. What about Mercury in Aquarius sextiling Jupiter in Aries?
So Mercury is communication, analyzation, but I feel like that goes beyond the way we think about it, since right now here we're like the third dimension. We perceive everything in a very logical way, and it takes us we have to experience a lot, we have to analyze a lot to get a broader experience of everything. This is why Gemini is a logical mind, like within our immediate surrounding, while Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter is like a higher mind, aka our broader experiences. But our broader experience is made up of like the small experiences. It's almost like a bigger thing is made of smaller thing. So Mercury here, what you're gonna think, communicate, analyze, try to connect with find is going to be related to our association, what you're trying to progress with. And it's going to really, Mercury likes Aquarius because it's an air sign, and Mercury loves information, it loves analyzation, and Aquarius is progressive, it's about new things. So that could give Mercury a sense of being a crackhead here, and it's fixed here, so Mercury could get very fixated on who he wants to associate with and what he want to communicate about. So Mercury could get become here like a stubborn crackhead about certain ideas. So you want to be careful here, but you can get a lot of knowledge, a lot of information, and develop a lot of right mentalities for your association. And having the sextile to Jupiter in Aries, that's allowing you to see opportunities on how to take that sense of expansion, what you want to expand and extract natural wisdom in terms of vision, and bring it and use Mercury in Aquarius and add more thoughts, ideas, structure with it, so it looks more logical. It's not just a vision or imagination or just an experience. You could actually make it more communicative, and Jupiter in Aries is providing that sense of experience for Aquarius to do something. And so it doesn't just be plain information, plain I know, but it's I know behind something that you desire. This will prevent you from becoming an Aquarius who's so detached from reality.
Yeah, for sure. You can see how Aquarius could really give Mercury direction, whereas in its home in Gemini, it can be very scattered. It can be very broad, or have a limited to its radius, but Mercury in Aquarius gets to its destinations, which definitely leads to that stubbornness, like what you mentioned. But that's what creates the opportunity for Jupiter and Aries. One, because your mind is focused into pushing a specific cause forward, you get to learn and experience a lot about yourself through that mental transit, through that you going specifically to and staying on one particular train of thought, or with that fixed air quality, those specific causes, those humanitarian things, all that Aquarian energy is definitely providing all that opportunity for you to grow and expand yourself and to see where your desires can take you and how far you can go, and just simply to learn more about yourself. Especially when Aquarius has that detached mindset, like what you were talking about, but kind of trying to blend in with a generic mind, not a generic mind, but a collective mind. The collective mind, Aquarius has that energy. So you're thinking about thoughts that other people are having too. It's not just your own things. So this creates more opportunities for you to expand, who you think you are. It broadened than just your mere experiences, but your intake of the energy through other people's experiences. It's opening up doors for broader integration, which can also be overwhelming depending on how you're looking at it. If you're willing to expand yourself, if you're down for the journey, Jupiter's trying to show us all, being in Aries.
Exactly.
What about the square Mercury's making to the North Node in Taurus? How do you think that adds to the energy?
So all these thoughts and ideas that you're thinking about your association, and you're seeing an opportunity on how you could incorporate this as an individuality, is forcing you to go through a learning opportunity on learning your spiritual path, and it's gonna lead you to material wealth. So you're gonna come up with the right thoughts and ideas about who you're gonna associate with, so you could include your sense of individuality, so it's treated correctly, so you're not with the wrong association. Since Mercury and Aquarius can provide a lot of information, but not all information is good information. So you want to be careful here. So the square is providing you with the learning opportunity to see what's gonna benefit you, ground you actually, so you don't get lost in la la land. Since here we're dealing with the air element and the fire element, sometimes it makes things ungrounded. With Jupiter and Aries, you start burning through reality because you're taking a lot of risk in things that are not calculated. Where Mercury and Aquarius can help you kind of calculate that too. Mercury and Aquarius is gonna cool down the fire in a way, but the North Node in Taurus with the square is forcing you to ground that down. So all those seeing the opportunity does not make you fly away in a wrong direction.
Absolutely. That it's kind of like a reminder of the springtime energy, where Mercury and Aquarius may be trying to push something so forward and kind of getting detached from the body. The North Node is reminding you that your real spiritual longing is for stability, for physical stability too, comfort, and that's what chased you into the mental realm in the first place. So it's kind of a reminder of that the mind and body go hand in hand. That may be a day where spirit just puts you back in your body. Maybe you're all in your mind, and spirit just comes, or some random force comes to really remind you that you're a person in a physical body.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So yeah, that's how Monday's looking. Definitely an interesting day with some tough squares going on, but the moon is in Scorpio, so as long as we're in that energy of letting go and purging the emotions that aren't serving us, especially with this Aquarius energy going on, so we can transform our insecurities, so we can have that as power, not as a liability moving forward, then that's the right energy we need to be in for that moon transit. That's Monday. Looking at Tuesday, we have the moon in Sagittarius now, making a trine with Jupiter and Chiron and Vista and Juno and Aries. How do you think that energy is gonna hit?
So right now we're gonna be emotionally focused on our broad experiences, or we're gonna be emotionally broad, indecisive with our vision, imagination. But these things are about about our experiences that we've been through since through that entire Aquarius season, coming right now from the moon in Scorpio. So if we had a good transformation, we could develop an ability to ascend higher. Every time you transform or you have a proper detox, you could ascend higher when your body go through that regeneration process, when you go from a younger age to an older age. But if you don't take your time to detox, then that higher threshold is not as high as it could be. So you can see how that could kind of prevent you from reaching certain levels. But right now with the moon in Sagittarius, you're gonna be giving a lot of meaning and reasoning to your experiences. So emotionally, so that's gonna allow you to create opportunity on how to guide that expansion that you want to start with, that vision. Since Jupiter in Aries could be quite reckless and so direct-minded and burn through reality and separate everything, the moon in Sagittarius will provide you with that wisdom of your experiences so far, so you could ground that ability of expansion and fighting for your faith. But also having a lot of asteroids here, Caryon, Vesta, Juno, they represent feminine energy, so they're helping you how to almost ground these things down and handle this element, because when you burn through reality, you may be too direct with it. But if you know how to calm the fire properly, you could it manifests things way better. But you gotta watch out with that trying, because it creates a lot of opportunity for you to do good things but also overdo things, so they could damage you.
For sure. The moon in Sagittarius, kind of helps you dive into your experience of your emotions and allow you to see emotions from different perspectives. Like it allows you to be able to relate and be able to see and connect seemingly with other people's emotions, because you're able to have, through your own experiences, you're able to see through the times that you have been hurt. You can draw on that to see and understand how other people may be being hurt, even if the hurt was in different ways. Just that understanding of the process that was going on behind the scenes of everything that was going on gives you that wisdom that you can see it in different situations. But with that expanded wisdom, you can see how Jupiter can really go and take that and really burn itself out, because now there's a lot of things that you can be and that you're tapping into with that trine with your moon, because there's a lot of things that you may have emotions that you may have went through that can give you a broad perspective of the world. But not everything that you went through is something that you want to expand in your life. Not everything that you can be is not something that you want to be. And that's a lesson that we're learning with Jupiter and Aries, as we are expanding our individuality, expanding who we are. There's a lot of bullshit out there. There's a lot of impulsive desires that don't hit to our truest, innermost natures. So there's a lot that we can expand into being, but should we be expanding into a lot? I bet with this direct fire energy, we're going to get exposed to this a lot quicker. And maybe we can have the emotional wisdom to select what experiences that we want, or what aspects of us we really want to expand into, instead of being overwhelmed with all the things that we could be. Being overwhelmed with potential sounds like this energy has. What about the opposition to Mars and Gemini?
So the opposition with Mars and Gemini is forcing us to ground all those emotional experiences when it comes to our understanding of our experience and other people's experiences, and how Jupiterian our mindset could get. We could get very very preachy in this sense, having Moon in Sagittarius. But the opposition of Mars in Gemini obviously is forcing you to take action on ideas, thoughts you could actually work on, that you could actually utilize within the immediate surrounding. So a lot of time the Moon in Sagittarius could put you in a lot of line where you over preach things that may not be you may not be able to incorporate it right now within your immediate surrounding and explain it properly, so we can actually run the community, because like Gemini deal with the third house, is the community with everything. So like sometimes a lot of belief system prevent stagnation there, if you will. But like if you could bring the right emotional expression of your broad experiences, and since you understand everybody goes through this, through that, through the moon being in Sagittarius, you could actually prevent opposition and actually know how to take action properly and guide that. Mars in Aries could get very egotistical, in the sense that it could just like it likes to fight and enjoy the sense of being in Gemini, arguing, analyzing, and fighting with people. But moon in Sagittarius, you might put you in the mindset of wanting to utilize that energy properly and not be so mindless, basically.
Absolutely. It's definitely adding that a factor where you have to communicate these things, or a situation where you're being forced to communicate these things or bring them into words. And yeah, I can see a discrepancy coming from that opposition, especially with the moon in Sagittarius, making you want to draw on all your experiences and add meaning to all of your emotions. But just like what I was saying, not everything that you went through has the meaning that you think it does, and some broad things aren't that easy to understand. So as we have this desire to go and explain things, and that curiosity that Mars and Gemini is giving us, maybe it leads us to maybe feeling less satisfaction because there's just so much more to learn, or discouragement because it's hard to explain certain things that you have went through, and you're feeling frustration when you're trying to bring it to words and stuff like that. But just remember that it's an amalgamation. Sagittarius is the alchemist, where we're trying to put together all of our experiences and make sense out of it, assimilate the big picture out of our emotions. So when that is the main goal, we shouldn't get too caught up in trying to communicate things, because sometimes things just can't be communicated. So don't allow it to bring frustration to you. Try and direct that energy into more curiosity, because sometimes the answer is not right there, even though you have been through a lot. Man, wait till you motherfucking die, nigga. You're like, oh, I'm old, or what a hard life, nigga. You fucking die and realize that was just the 1% of the process. 1% of the process of becoming you, or that the real you or the real life is way more expansive than that, but yet you think that you're all wear and tear, in the beginning, when you don't have a real perspective of the full extent of the journey. So learn to enjoy the journey. Stop trying to find that destination so quickly. So yeah, that's how Tuesday's looking. Looking at Wednesday, we have the moon in late Sagittarius squaring Neptune and Venus in Pisces. How do you think this is going to hit?
So while we're going to be emotionally expressing our broad experiences and our understanding and our sense of spirituality here, the square with Neptune and Venus conjuncting each other in Pisces is forcing us to basically kind of learn how to filter through a lot of illusions. And what Neptune and Venus in Pisces wants to provide us, providing some sort of dream, illusion, and providing all these things for us to get lost in or utilize properly. But in the moon in Sagittarius, you're in the energy to express your own understanding and your own experiences. But the square is forcing you maybe to sit down and receive more things related to what you want to do before you get yourself put yourself in the mind of being too big-headed. Basically.
Absolutely. It's I feel like Sagittarius, it's crazy that Sagittarius and Pisces square each other. I guess it's like that because they're mutable, but you see so much similarities between them. They're just trying to do it in the